Hello everyone, my name is Colin. I'm back with another video, and so this is a bit of an odd one because generally the consistency that I've kept on this channel, I've discussed YouTubers that are in, like, if you came to someone and you said you watched all these YouTubers, they would probably also say yes. They're all in the same realm of, like, artistic value, if that makes sense. I know that sounds incredibly pretentious, but just hear me out. So this video is not about a group like that. This video is about a group called Too Hype. For any of you, so probably all of you that are watching this from my subscriptions, and the people that aren't or already know, but they're a group of YouTubers who started on the game NBA 2K. I'm a giant basketball fan, so hence why I know them. And then they transitioned over to more into just like general in real life basketball content. Modeled their group basically after the Sidemen, except with a few little tweaks that we'll mention. But one of the main members of that group and friends of one of the founders of the group, like real life childhood friends, is Mopi. Now, as of recent, within the last week or so, Mopi has come out and said that he has left the group. Now, groups have people that leave. This is just a natural occurrence. There's nothing big to be reported on here if that was the only thing. However, he did call them L Hype, which L is, loss instead of two. But yeah, I know that's a little bit redundant, and this isn't the first incident of a member being kicked out. There were multiple people, such as Los Pollos TV and TD Presents, and that Walker, who basically got cucked from getting in the group, essentially. And so this whole big fiasco has been going on. Videos are happening. Videos are going to be happening. Legal action has been pursued. There's just, it's a bunch of complete mess. And I've seen people report on this news, but I haven't seen people take an analysis of the people in this situation and give their opinion and take on what's factual and what's not from a completely outside source. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. This is an unscripted video. It's just going to be kind of rambling-ish, but I hope you all can bear with me. So the first major player that I want to talk about in this video is Christopher London, LSK. He is what seems to be the face and the linchpin of the group when it comes to these decisions, when it comes to the marketability, when it comes to the branding of the group. He is the one who led a charge to actually kick out the members that were kicked out. He was the talking face of the whole thing. So he released a 40-minute video that he later deleted, essentially just going over all of the drama. And then, in very recent updates, he has said, hey, I messed up. Of course, not in the way that's like commendable. He's just like, I just want to leave all of this behind after making a literal 40-minute video. So that doesn't mean that you're remorseful for what you've done, because you put out a 40-minute video that is monetized or was monetized. It just means you've got caught. And the key that I want to bring up when discussing the main four players in this, of the actual remaining Too Hype group, which would be Jesser, Christopher London, Zach TGG, and Jidel, is they all approach things in the same manner. And they all use the same word the most out of everything. And that word is I. They constantly have this savior complex, almost, it seems. Instead of making the Mopi situation, which they are claiming is him being very mentally stressed out, going through a lot of stuff going on right now, regardless of whether you're friends or not, you don't make that about yourself. If you were truly remorseful and feeling bad about what's happening, you don't say I. You don't say, man, I've done, which is what they have all done. I did so much for you. I have sacrificed more for you than anyone else in the world. It's like a paraphrase of like a direct quote that Jester said in his video. LSK is like, man, I have no bad blood towards anybody. And the key here is it reeks of a lack of being genuine. Essentially, it's such corporate pandering, image saving bullshit that just does not fly with me. And when you and even if you look at the demeanor and the body language of the people, when you look at people that are into hype, that are defending their side of the situation, whenever they come out with videos or tweets, there's a sullen, like depressed, like they can't look at the camera properly. And when they do look at the camera, their posture is relatively weak. And they don't seem confident in what they're saying. It's just a big. It just seems like a lie, essentially. But when you look at the people on the other side of this scenario, people like Los Polios, Walker, and TD, when they make statements on camera, they have bravado, they have intensity, they're never playing the victim card, which is generally, if you ask me, what they kind of should be doing here, but they don't. And the reason why they don't, at least to any sensible person, is because they have the evidence to back it up. They are confident in their assertions. They are confident in knowing what's real and what's not, and what's true and being portrayed and what's not, and they are ready to expose Too Hype as a fraudulent entity. So that's the big difference that I've been seeing going on within these two groups. And I think it's also very telling that is true, because the videos and tweets that have been coming from Too Hype are all prepared. These are prepared things. You have ultimate control over what you put out in a video, essentially. You edit it, you can make yourself look however you want. So that's the key there. And they still look depressed and not confident in their assertions. But if you go over and look at the other people that have mainly covered the situation on the other side, like Los and Walker, they are doing it on Twitch. They are reacting live on stream, which is something that you essentially cannot control. You cannot maneuver things and edit things however you want. It is a live stream. Yet somehow they have the most amount of confidence. They're talking about things in a way that is just so sure. They're so sure of themselves. And Too Hype doesn't seem like that. And especially after the recent tweets from Chris saying things such as, hey, everyone makes mistakes. We're all human. I'm not going to entertain the negativity anymore. It's essentially saying I lost. It's a grab at sympathy from his children audience that will not know any better. Because naturally, if a creator, I've said this in an earlier video, can't remember where, if a creator emits sad emotion, it's the natural response in everyone to be caring about it, aside from like sociopaths and stuff like that. But it's the natural emotion to want to care. And also, I will say, I'm not going to say anything that's incriminating about this, but I will say it is just kind of funny how we haven't heard anything in days from this group, essentially, aside from the COVID tweets and the most recent like string from Chris. I don't know. It's a very, very weird situation to me that doesn't make any sense on why, because I truly feel that if the Too Hype boys hadn't pushed this so much, in their videos and things like that, if they had just let it be and actually sorted out privately, which they clearly didn't, which they clearly did not, then perhaps this would have been swept under the rug easier. But they brought it into the limelight on their own channels, and it made everything worse, to the point where it is a possibility that this could be the start of the downfall. And I'm not talking like super downfall, because they're obviously always going to have a fan base, but the downfall of super downfall of credibility for this group. And the other thing that I see being said a lot is clout chasing, that the people on the other side of things, such as Walker, TD, Los, are clout chasing. First of all, TD has over 1 million subscribers. Los is one of the most popular streamers on Twitch. They have no reason to be clout chasing. Are they as big as the two hype boys? No. But are they big enough to the point where they don't need to be leeching off of other people for popularity? Absolutely. Will the videos do well? Absolutely. But that doesn't translate to leeching, if that makes sense. It's just part of, naturally, it's just part of the business. But my thing is, this has happened before. When the whole TD situation happened, Los did not insert himself. When the whole Walker situation happened, when the whole Mal situation happened, the other members that were kicked did not directly insert themselves into the situation. So why wouldn't they have done it then? Because that's still pretty big news, you know what I mean? Mopi isn't even the biggest member to get kicked. The biggest member to get kicked was TD. So naturally, wouldn't you want to go off of that for clout? Like individual numbers, TD is a bigger channel than Mopi. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's so very clear that there is something going on. Do I think that it's maybe not as big as all of the shit has piled up to be? I genuinely do think it might not be as big. And the only reason for that is 2Hype has this problem where they over amplify situations. For example, the Lost and Unbound situation. The majority of people involved in that situation were 2Hype. Now, I'm not saying what Lost did was not bad. It was a not good thing to do. You treat your editors with proper respect. That's just like natural courtesy. That being said, my issue there comes with the fact that they didn't seem to like have any sympathy or empathy. The kid was like in his teens. It's a mistake you can make, and it didn't seem like one that was super manipulative. Did he deserve scrutiny for it for a long time? Yes. Did he deserve to be bullied out of the community? I don't necessarily think so. And the people that made this such a big deal were 2Hype, constantly going after him for like a solid month, it seemed. And even to this day, they make jokes about him in videos. And for someone that seemed to be so close to the group, and let's be honest, if he was still close to the group, there's a good chance he probably would have been in 2Hype, because he was going to move into the original 2K house at some point. It just shows the character that it was almost like foreshadowing. It was predictive actions, essentially. So I don't know. It's just a weird situation in general. I hope that everything comes to light to the point where people, even younger people, can have a genuine understanding of what's going on. Do I think we need an exposed video necessarily where like it's defamatory? No, not necessarily. Do I think that we need a clear cut evidence video for both sides? Yeah, I do. I think it's essential for people to just get in the right mind space about everything and make their decision on which channels to follow, what direction they want to take their viewing experience in. So I guess the ultimate thing that I can say, like my conclusion is, do I think 2Hype is in the wrong? Absolutely. Do I think they're a shady company? Absolutely. Do I think that they have completely sold out to the business side of things when there are other groups out there that have proved that it's not essential to sell out to the business side of things? Yes. Do I think that the success level that they have warrants the selling out that they've done? No. I've felt this way for a very long time, to be honest with you, ever since the group was created, especially considering they were said, we don't want to do a group channel, and then suddenly they just did a group channel. But I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here. I just don't like the look of it. I think it's, especially when it is a childhood friend of multiple members of the group, it's just not a good look whatsoever. And I think that fans will be disappointed when the truth comes out, and people who have been doubting them for years will say, I told you so. Sorry if this was like less structured than it should have been, but I'm just literally going off the top of my head. And I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. I think it was good. If you didn't think it was good, let me know why. And thank you very much to our producer, AJ Ford, and our patron, Weston Kentucky. If you want to learn more about the Patreon, there's a link in the description for that. There's also a link to our podcast. There's a link to all of our social medias in there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys have a wonderful holidays, and just enjoy the culmination of the shittiest year that we've ever had. So thank you very much, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Goodbye.